What's up, Skadoolins? So I kind of wanted to put together a little video. I got inspired after watching Amazing Polly's video on it's called Your Body is Their Weapon. And my friends and I have been talking about it, but I think that about what she was talking about, I think she hit the nail on the head. She's talking about like the medical industry and how like they're just narcissistic sociopaths. And I know people have been using that word. They use the word narcissistic very loosely and narcissist very loosely. But I have a friend that had a narcissistic husband, and or ex-husband, and she was really trying to heal from it. And she did a lot of research on narcissism and narcissistic behavior. And then she started kind of comparing it on a larger scale of what's going on. And I was like, yeah, that's really interesting. It makes a lot of sense. And basically, in a nutshell, I mean, you should still watch the video. I'm just going to sum it up. It's not really a spoiler because I think that she does an excellent job breaking this down, but she's basically saying that what they're doing to us as a society is torture. And according to, like, I think Amnesty International, human rights organizations, that this is the very definition of torture. And they're not waterboarding us. I can't say water. They're not waterboarding us, and they're not like beating us, and they're not like, like putting fire under our feet, but it's a type of psychological and emotional torture. And she's talking about how they're dividing the society, the masked against the unmasked, and then they're making it political, and then they're confining us to our homes, and they're like making it horrible. Because my friend was just like, God, they're just, they're making it, people are losing have lost their jobs. A lot of people can't pay their bills, and then they're giving them a choice between having to wear a mask that's not good for them, which is going to make them sicker or not. But if they don't wear the mask, they can't get their groceries done, they can't get their errands done, they can't get the basic necessities that they need to in life. And a lot of people are just worn down, like they may not agree with it or they think it's stupid, but they'll just go along because they're tired and they don't want to fight people, and they don't want to get dirty looks when they go out, and they don't want to be confronted by people, and they want to fly. They don't want any drama, and they have kids. It's just like, it's a terrible thing that they're doing to us. By the same token, we always have to remember that there's more of us than there is of them. So I'm just trying to inspire people and get more people to wake up and realize this. I have a medical condition, and I technically can get away with that, but I also have an opinion that this is bullshit, right? This is bullshit. So it's weird that I'm not it's like I kind of have to choose either or. I have to act like, I don't think it's bullshit and take it seriously, but still not wear a mask because of my medical condition. Or I actually have two that qualify, but I have to do that, or I have to go along and pretend that this is I have to go along and I have to pretend that this is serious, and this is like it's a real thing, and like wear the mask, or even if I don't, right? Even if I don't wear the mask, I have to pretend that this is a real thing and that I care. But I can just be like, oh, well, I would wear a mask if I could, but I can't because of my medical condition. But people are still going to get mad at me. There are people that are still not going to believe me. There are people going to still be resentful toward me because I get out of wearing the mask, and they still feel that they have to wear one even though they really don't. But it's really because they don't have the balls or the courage to stand up and say no, And it's just like they want us to break. They want us, they want to tell us lies. All this information is coming out, how they're manipulating information, how the tests are faulty. It's insane. I don't, but like they're gaslighting us when we actually show evidence that this is going on. They're isolating us from our friends and our family, our friends and our family that, are brainwashed by the media, that are going to do everything that they say. The WHO just came out and basically said The World Health Organization came out and said that asymptomatic transmission is rare. Now, the WHO is what everybody looks to for medical advice, right? If the WHO says it, if you're one of these people that believe, you know, the media, they're getting their information from the WHO, or they should be. If you're a person that believes mainstream narratives, you should, and if the WHO said something, then, you know, most likely you'll be like, oh, well, if the WHO said it, it must be true. Now, I don't trust those motherfuckers either way, but I already knew that it was rare before they even said it. Like, I don't need their permission or their, like, you know, authorization to know that if I don't have any symptoms, then I can't spread anything. I already understand that the virus has not been isolated, so technically there's no evidence of what's causing people's illness is a new virus, okay? I already know that, so they can't scare me with that, right? And then the WHO comes out with this information, yet the mainstream media, like now there's commercials, now there's propaganda pushing, saying, oh, even if you're an asymptomatic carrier, it's, you know, you can still pass it. But I'm like, but they're not basing it on evidence. They just have commercials that's pumping this into people's minds. And my friend was just like, yeah, man, they're showing this commercial all the time. So even if you know this, if you're constantly getting bombarded with propaganda, you know, and via social media, via, you know, narratives and nighttime, you know, dramas and late night talk shows and commercials about it, you're gonna believe it. If you're not that strong-minded or you're not gonna think out the box, you're gonna believe it. So you're still gonna be afraid of people that are perfectly healthy, that have no symptoms, right? They're trying to make us think that we're sick and we're not sick. It's like, you know, it's like, well, my amazing Polly was like, it's like being in an open air, like a sane asylum still, like, right? They're trying to, so then you're gonna have people that even though you're perfectly healthy, no symptoms, even though you have temperature taking places and shit, you don't have any symptoms, they're still gonna be like, oh, you can spread it, even though the death rate, according to their numbers, is really rare. And most of you notice they're not reporting the recoveries, they're reporting the cases with their fake ass false tests. They're not reporting the deaths, they're reporting the cases. So that just gets people scared. Oh my God, like we're all gonna die. You know, if they don't have a brain. My friend was telling me the story. He's a little bit older than me. If he's watching, he's gonna get a kick out of this. But he was saying that he worked as a DJ for a radio station. This is years ago. And there was this old song that came out called, with Billy Ray Cyrus, Don't Break My Heart, My Achy Breaky Heart. And I've listened to the song. It's a stupid fucking song. It's one of the stupid songs I've ever heard. And he said his boss comes in and was like, we're gonna make this song #1. And he's like, yeah, right. And he says all the other local DJs were laughing about how stupid this song is. And they're like, this fucking song is not gonna be #1. And he said they got orders to play it, not just like, you know, maybe they might play a new song once an hour or whatever, something like that. But he was like, they got orders to play the song 4 times an hour. And within 2 weeks, it had hit #1 and people were playing that song. The stupid fucking song, okay? It goes like, don't break my heart, my achy breaky heart. I just don't think you'd understand. Like, did a 5-year-old write that? It sounds stupid in elementary. The composition is terrible. It's a fucking horrible song. But it made it to #1. And this is how Hollywood can make songs #1. Because it really is having enough money to throw at the market so you can saturate the market. If you're an independent artist, this is what I've been studying with my music. I've been trying to you know, figure out how to do this on my own without the help of Hollywood. So one of the things I'm studying is how to get a niche market. You get like specific fans that like your work and cater to them. And then you can spend your time and resources catering to them, right? Like I don't need to be a gajillion billionaire. I just need to make enough money to live off of to be able to do my music, maybe do tours and stuff like that. But when you look at somebody that's like Britney Spears or Madonna or whatever, they have loads and loads of money to saturate the market and get people hooked on their music. You know, music it could be used for good or evil, right? Even though, you know, I go into these clubs, or I've gone into clubs, I don't really do that anymore. But these the music is good and it makes people move and it like, you know, it satiates you in that way. But then a lot of the lyrics are really degrading, especially like with hip hop music and stuff. Even the pop music now that's not even hip hop, it's just like rock music. It's still kind of degrading. Like look at these teenagers that are listening to stuff and it's all about sexualizing yourself. And like sex is great. I'm not like, oh, that's evil, but I think that, you know, even those, it's objectification, it's materialism, it's really very surface level soul music, whereas it doesn't really, it keeps people very surface level and it doesn't have them looking deeper. And it's not really psychologically, emotionally healthy, in my opinion, especially if you're a younger person listening to that stuff and you're just absorbing it, you're just like, oh, you know, like, oh, I love the beat, but you're like, you know, I'm a bitch, I'm a hoe, you know, eat my ass, suck my toe, like, you know, but like, how does that, you know, feed your psyche and as you're growing into a person, right? Like how, I used to think all this stuff was really stupid and a lot of it's far-fetched, but the more I'm learning about mass media manipulation, like the worse, and it could be, like I said, it could be used for good. So, you know, you can create music, you can create art. Is it empowering you? Is it empowering people? That's what you have to ask. You're still kind of manipulating people either way, but the thing is, it's like, are you empowering people? Are you disempowering people? When hip hop started and it started to grow, it was actually waking people up. It really is, it was like a truth movement. And they're, you know, the higher ups are like, hell no, we have to stop this. They threw a wrench in that shit and then they turned it into like gangster rap, degrading women. You know, there's a Native American saying that says, a nation is not conquered until the hearts of their women are in the ground or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, it's something like that, but I've always thought, you know, get the women to degrade themselves and the men will follow. And now you have these, you know, women degrading themselves through this music, whether it's pop or hip hop, right? Like Hannah Montana, or what's her name? Miley Cyrus. I mean, it's just like, look, I mean, God, I would freak. I remember my parents would really monitor a lot of the stuff that I would watch and listen to when I was growing up. And I thought they were fucking crazy. I thought they were crazy. And I've since then had to apologize to my mom and my dad. And my dad kind of knew, now that I think about it, I mean, I talk to my mom more, but now that I think about it, my dad was a film major and he was in film and he kind of knew a lot of these tactics already. So I wonder, he probably talked to my mom about a lot of my stuff, but then my mom also has really good instincts. So maybe she couldn't explain it, but she knew that something was up with like the music. Like I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons. I wasn't allowed to do so much shit when I was younger that my friends thought I was gonna like just go the opposite direction and be like a hooker crack whore because my parents were so strict with what I can watch, what I can do, where I can go, what I can wear, like everything. And maybe if I had children, I might be a little bit more lenient, but I understand where they were coming from, and I understand like being a parent can be very scary, especially in these times. You know, I would not want to do it by myself in these times. It's just, it seems like it's one of the most rewarding jobs, but also like one of the most scary at the same time. So what else was I going to say? I wanted to talk about, God, mosquitoes, man, they fucking raped me. I'm just sorry. I'm just like scratching my legs. I went out, man. I just got bit up by all these bugs. I didn't put enough bug spray on. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about what are some things you can do to kind of, to make sure that you're sane. So getting back to, you know, how they manipulate people. So my whole explanation about the music industry, I'm basically trying to talk about how they're manipulating, they're using the same tactics basically that they use in Hollywood and in commercials and stuff to manipulate people about this coronavirus thing. They don't have the strength or the fortitude or the focus or the courage or whatever you want to call it to, what do you think it is that's preventing them from like seeing the truth, right? And, you know, I've been really, you know, first like month or so, I did go off the wagon a little bit. I went on a Reese's peanut butter cup eating binge, and I'm not supposed to have sugar or all that chemicals. I mean, it's bad. Reese's is good. It tastes good, but it's not fucking food. And I'm like, so I know there are people, just to give a little background, I don't really, I may be gaining a little weight. I don't have issues with weight gain, but I have issues when I eat that stuff. I have issues with my mentality, with my, with sleeping, with, you know, asthma, my allergies. If I eat the wrong stuff, like that flares up, my joints swell up. So I don't get like people, I never get, I'm not getting away with it physically, right? So it was something I knew that I had to stop. And I kind of, you know, got back on the wagon. So I'm saying I know a lot of people are eating like unhealthy now because they're stress eating. And that's another thing. Like, how come, you know, health food stores have to close, but fucking McDonald's was open? Fucking liquor stores are open. Really? Those are essential? Really? Okay. All right. You know, whatever. You know, it's funny to see people wearing masks and they have like a shit ton of soda and chips and, you know, like processed food in their carts. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's not gonna save you, but whatever. But you think that mask is gonna save your health? You're really twisted. So, you know, make sure you're eating as healthy as you can. I mean, that really is gonna help your mentality. When you eat unhealthy foods, it really slows down your focus. It can trigger your anxiety even more. If, you know, it causes inflammation in your body and you have toxins in your blood and your body that your body's not really getting rid of. If you're eating terrible foods like high fructose corn syrup, it lowers your immune system. So it could make you more susceptible to what do you call it? To illness. Even though you're stress eating and you think it's helping your stress, you still have cortisol levels are high. And then you're also, it makes you feel good, you think for a minute, but it's not really solving your stress problem in the end. So I've been really trying to make sure that I stay hydrated. I drink clean water now. After I got over my little bench, I was like, what am I doing? I'm stress eating. I gotta, like, you know, stay focused, stay healthy, right? Eating, you know, as freshly as I can. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Calling my mom and my friends every day, making sure that I'm, you know, talking to people every day, you know, so I'm not so isolated. You know, make sure you try and find like-minded people. I know this channel helps people because they want to know that there are other people that are on the same level as they are as a way of thinking. And I totally understand that, because I needed that when I was kind of waking up to all this stuff, and it was really helpful for me. So I'm grateful for the people that made channels or put out articles, you know, for me. But if you try and also, I would say everything is you know, can get really gloomy, but also try and look at other people, not just this channel, that have a more brighter perspective on things sometimes. I mean, maybe that's hard because things seem like it's just really weird and it's going to shit, but try and think of things that you can do to give you a better perspective on how to feel things. Because part of the control part of the psychological torture is that they want to make you feel hopeless. You know, I think it was like during World War II, or you know, they had like a department that would mainly focus on that would just drop pamphlets and stuff saying you're gonna lose, because they wanted people feel defeated in here first, then everything else will follow. So that's just another way of making people, like, of them trying to conquer you, is to conquer your mind and your heart. So, you know, you have that. What else was I going to say? Oh, maybe, because I am a conspiracy realist, maybe, you know, if you're scared about something, maybe war game a few scenarios of what you can do about that, but try not to dwell on them. So for instance, I was thinking about, oh my God, what if the contact tracers show up at my house? What am I gonna do, right? I have a couple of scenarios of stuff that I can do or think that I can do, you know? I've actually had probably about like 10 scenarios. But, you know, work out whatever you need to work out in your head and think about and put into place what you need to think about to make you feel secure. And then know that you have that, and then try and think of a prosperous way to, or another way to try and think of, like, if you think about it happening, try and think of another scenario maybe where that doesn't happen, to have more positivity. I mean, like, okay, so I hope I'm not confusing you guys. There was this, I don't know who he was, but I saw this video. I made a copy of it because I thought it was so awesome. He was talking about Bill and Melinda Gates and how he knows that they're experimenting on Africa. He was an African guy. And he said that he saw a video on Melinda Gates, and she was saying, I see African people dying in the streets. And he was like, oh, hell no. Let me tell you this. It's called Proclamation. And she's proclaiming what she wants to happen. And she's basically like, he's basically like, you know, in tribal stuff in Africa, when you go into battle, you basically proclaim what you want to see happen, right? And that's what they're doing to us. They're setting up their proclamations. It's not happening in mass like they want, but that's what she wants to happen. So he's just like, no, we reject that. We reject that happening. We actually are going to turn it over on you, and we're going to see you in the streets, and you're going to be hung, and you're going to end up in paying for what you know, the crimes that you've committed. He was talking about, I'm not an avid Bible reader, but I know the story of David and Goliath, and I loved that story when I was a kid, and it's so, you know, appropriate to what's going on right now. But he was basically saying, you know, David, if you guys don't know the story, David was like this giant, and David was like this little boy. And I guess, I don't know why they were fighting each other, but they were about to fight each other. And David, the Goliath, is like, I'm gonna rip you up and chop you up and feed you to the birds. And David's like, no, I'm gonna kill you. You're gonna be the one. You know, basically he turned it around on him and was like, you're gonna be the one to die, and I'm gonna conquer you. And David ended up conquering him. And if you don't know the story, he basically conquered him with a slingshot, right? This giant that nobody can beat and everybody was scared of. He was very strategic in his approach. You got a slingshot. If I could knock that nigga, I was like, the nigga in the middle of the head and kill him like that with a rock and a slingshot, you know? So I'm just saying, be careful of where you spend your thoughts. Think of your thoughts like energy. And of course, guys, I'm human. I have days like, oh my God, why is this happening? This is hell. I just don't make videos on those days. or I make a video, then I turn the camera off. I was like, my life. But I'm a human, dude, of course. But I also know that there is power in this stuff. So what do you want to proclaim about this situation? What do you want to put forward? What do you want to see happen? I want to see this whole situation turned around on these motherfuckers. I want to see Anthony Fauci, Bill Gates, Melinda Gates, all these people that are involved in this, Deborah Birx, the Clintons, the Obamas, anybody else that I didn't name that has to do with this. I want to see them in jail. I want to see them like charged with treason. I want to see this taken out. I want to see people waking up to the truths that disempower them, right? And I want to see people empowered so this never happens again. I proclaim that we are moving into a new day, a new era, but without, you know, that's not going to come without the things that we're going through now, without the struggles that we're going through now. I proclaim this. I proclaim that this is going to happen. I proclaim that we're not going to be as slaves, that the New World Order is going to fail in their efforts to overtake the world. They have plans, but doesn't mean that it has to happen, you know? I think that this is end times, but it's end times of the terrible times that we were living in before, and this is the beginning of a new era. That's what I proclaim. I proclaim that. I'm not sitting and wallowing and thinking, and it's hard, right? And it's hard because when you're watching the news, try not to watch the news, try not to watch TV, try not to, because there, you know the power of the subconscious mind is very strong, and they're actually trying to implant stuff. I would even say that they do that with video games. If you know anybody that's kind of gone a little, and they play video games, they actually do that same technique with video games. So anything that's kind of an outside source that can get into your subconscious mind via music that you don't know, entertainment, movies, video games, I would really watch what goes into your head and be the steward of your own mind, because if you are not the steward of your own mind, then somebody else will be. All right, this is getting too long as normal, but please subscribe to my email list if you go to info@truthertalk.com. I'm trying to get at least 1,000 subscribers by the end of this month. I'm gonna start my courses soon. I will be more on that. I will be doing a live this weekend to talk to you guys. Please go by the store, buy some t-shirts, or a t-shirt or bumper stickers. You can PayPal me in the links below. I look forward to your comments. I look forward to the trolls. I look forward to your criticisms and your comments, your emails, all that good stuff. And thank you so much for your support. And we're all in this together, but we're all in this together, not alone together, because that's some bullshit oxymoron, mind-controlled shit. That's bullshit. Anyway, all right, guys. Peace, peace, and love. Bye-bye. Mwah.